Mr. Patrick Tay.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I rise in support of the motion. In the past 5 decades, since as a little boy, I've had the honor of seeing, witnessing, working in, serving in, and partnering many in the Singapore Police Force. During the first 10 years of my life, my late cousin, who lived with me, served in the SPF, in team policing and in criminal investigations. And I saw for myself, as a young boy, the dedication and service to the nation of our police officers. Oftentimes, the work involves long shifts, sudden recalls, and chasing criminals until they are apprehended. He rose through the ranks as a constable to a senior police officer before he retired from the SPF. Through him, I saw how every police officer, regardless of rank, unit, or type of work, plays an important role in ensuring the safety and security of our country. During the second 10 years of my life, my encounter with the SPF came in the form of my ECA in the National Police Cadet Corps for 4 years from Secondary 1 to 4. Little known, the NPCC, under the auspices of the SPF, commemorating their 62nd anniversary this year, has impacted many youths and young people like me. Besides having the opportunity to fire a .22 Smith & Wesson revolver, the NPCC imparted many useful experiences, knowledge, and life skills to many young people and youths. I was at their 62nd virtual anniversary celebrations on 7th May this year, and want to congratulate the NPCC movement and everyone who has been and is part of this movement for leaving an indelible mark, or many who have been through the NPCC journey in Singapore. During the third 10 years of my life, in my 20s, I spent 6 years of it with the SPF as a full-time police officer. As someone fresh from school, these 6 years have left a very lasting impression on my life, my values, and impacted me in more ways than one. I spent 4 of these 6 years with the Star Unit, a little-known and highly secretive and clandestine unit within the SPF's Special Operations Command. During my service with the Special Tactics and Rescue Unit, I had the honor to work with and train with officers in the Star Unit and in almost all the specialist units within the SPF. I cannot divulge more of the highly secretive, dangerous and risky training and operations which these units have been involved in, but you can watch, subtle snippets of it in archived episodes of Crime Watch. I know many of my fellow officers, then myself, put our lives at risk, undergoing very intense, grueling training and operations. In fact, not just putting their lives at risk, but also affecting lots of family life and time with family. 2 very, very impressionable ones were when my wife, I had to stand off my wife in the midst of a midnight movie, and because I had a pager call for an activation, and another time over dinner date, and I had to walk out in the middle of the dinner, both for important criminal operations. I think the efforts and the contributions of our SPF, you can't be understated. In fact, in the course of my career in the SPF, there are few officers that left a very lasting impression on me, both whom I report to and work with. Mr. Lim Soo-Gee, then Commander of Special Operations Command, and Director of Operations SPF then, Mr. Leo Yip. And as well as current Commissioner, Mr. Hoon Wee Teck, whom we used to, in colloquial terms, Chiong Sua together, when he was then AD Major Crime of Criminal Investigation Department. And I recall those memorable days when he hunted down the criminals, and my team and I had to storm and arrest the criminals. So those were really memorable ones. And this draws me to then appreciate and thank all the past and present officers who have served in our specialist units within the SPF, from officers of the Special Operations Command such as those in the well-known red-colored vehicles colloquially known as the Angqia, including the Star Unit, which handles high-risk and highly armed criminals and criminal hostage situations, and the little-known but important SPF K9 unit to provide specialized capabilities for a whole host of tracking, detection, and support to prevent and detect crime. Other specialist units to make special mention are the Police Security Command, Police Coast Guard, Protective Security Command, Ops Command Center, Public Transport Security Command, Airport Police, Traffic Police, Training Command, School of Criminal Investigation, and the Gurkha Contingent. Oftentimes, their work go unnoticed, but I can assure you these units are highly trained and provides the SPF with specialized tactical support and highest armed response, a plethora of operational capabilities, and operational readiness to stand ready for the unexpected and overcome any unplanned contingencies. During my 30s, after leaving the SPF, I was in active service as an NS-man in the Police Training Command. I met and interacted with many SPF NS-men during my annual recall for about a decade. I want to therefore use this opportunity to thank and appreciate them and their families and employers as they complement and support the SPF, especially during major national events, critical operations and deployments. An often forgotten group will be the VSC officers, who are civilian volunteers who also dedicate their personal time to serve and patrol alongside our SPF officers on the ground. In the last 10 years as a Member of Parliament, I've had a chance to also partner and work with the SPF line units to see to the safety and security of the constituency and our residents. With strong community engagement and partnership, the police has responded to various incidents from crime cases to handling major accidents and incidents to keep the peace in our towns and estates. They also partner with the grassroots and community to effectively prevent and detect crime. These days, with a more digitalized and virtual operating environment, the SPF has also reinvented and innovated to keep pace with new forms of online crimes and scams. To conclude, I wish to express my heartfelt thanks, appreciation, respect, and honor to the many members of the SPF, past and present, young and not so young, enlisting, entering, or have retired, or left us, NS or regular or VSC, uniform or non-uniform, including the many families, wives, children, parents, and loved ones of each of them for their dedicated service, working tirelessly, upholding the law, often putting their lives at risk and at stake to nation building and to keeping Singapore one of the safest countries in the world. The work of the SPF will continue. And if I may use my favorite quotation from George Orwell, people sleep peaceably at night because rough men, well, and women, stand ready to do battle on their behalf. Happy SPF 200. Thank you.